Lucy Miller had always been steady with a paintbrush. Her art teacher said it was what made her special. But that Tuesday in September, something was off. Her hand trembled, blurring the lines on her canvas. "You okay, Luce?" Her best friend Madison whispered from the next easel. "That doesn't look like your usual work." Lucy forced a smile. "Just a bad day." Mrs. Rodriguez, their art teacher, called across the room. "How's your winter showcase piece coming along, Miss Miller?" "The committee's excited to see it." "It's coming," Lucy replied, quickly shifting to block her teacher's view. The bell rang before she had to explain more. As Lucy packed up, she caught her reflection in the art room window. Pale, almost ghostly. "Want to grab coffee?" Madison asked. "The new cafe has those lavender lattes you love." "Rain check," Lucy said, touching her forehead. "Not feeling great. That's the third rain check this week," Madison frowned. "I'm fine. Just tired. Dad's been working late again." The walk home felt endless. Twice she had to stop just to catch her breath. By the time she reached their small Texas house, she was exhausted. The peeling paint and squeaky porch greeted her like old friends. She collapsed on the couch and drifted off, waking only when her father's rough, oil-stained hands gently shook her awake. "Lucy, sweetheart, you eaten anything?" She blinked at him. "What time is it?" "Almost 7. I brought soup from Marie's. You okay? You look white as a sheet." Lucy tried to nod, but the dizziness returned. "Dad, I think I need to see Dr. Hansen." Her father froze. Fear flickered behind his tired eyes. "I'll call first thing tomorrow." The next day was a blur of blood tests and hushed voices. By afternoon, Lucy and her father sat in a small hospital office listening to words that didn't sound real. "Acute lymphoblastic leukemia," the doctor said gently. "We caught it early, but we need to start treatment immediately." Lucy felt detached, like she was floating outside her body. Her father's hands gripped the chair's arms, knuckles white. "How much?" she asked. "With insurance, your share should be manageable," the doctor said. "The total cost is around $95,000, her dad nodded. "We'll make it work, whatever it takes." Days turned into a blur of hospital visits and paperwork. Lucy watched her father call insurance companies, his tone growing more desperate each day. Then came the letter. She found him in the kitchen, standing among shards of a shattered mug, clutching a paper with trembling hands. "They denied it," he said, voice breaking. "They're calling it a pre-existing condition. They won't cover anything." Lucy felt the room spin. "That's not true." Dr. Hansen said. "I know, sweetheart," he whispered. "We'll appeal. I'll talk to the hospital, maybe. Take out a second mortgage. How much do we have?" He sank into a chair. 12,000. Been saving since your mom left." Lucy looked at their worn kitchen, the peeling linoleum, the old stove, the stack of bills. There was no way they'd reach 95,000. Unless... Her gaze drifted to the walls of her room, covered in paintings, landscapes, portraits, swirling storms. Maybe her art could save her life. That night, she created a post. Art for Life sale. Each piece tells a story of storms and survival. Proceeds go directly to cancer treatment. By morning, her phone buzzed with notifications. One sale, then another, then 10. The storm was coming, but Lucy Miller had lightning in her brush and she was ready to fight. 3 weeks later, she stood at a farmer's market, weak from chemotherapy but determined. "You sure you're up for this?" her dad asked. "I have to be," she said with a shaky smile. Her art drew a crowd. One woman, an art professor, bought a painting for $800. Others followed. By noon, they'd made nearly $3,000. Then suddenly Lucy's nose began to bleed. The world tilted. Her father's shout echoed, "Somebody call an ambulance," as she collapsed, crimson splattering her latest painting. She woke in the hospital. The doctors had bad news. The cancer was spreading faster than expected. "We need more aggressive treatment," Dr. Warner said. "It'll cost another $40,000, Lucy closed her eyes. They'd made only $23,000 so far. Not nearly enough. The nurse, Sarah, gently said, "Your blood-splattered painting. It's gone viral. I shared your story online." By the next day, Lucy's art had reached thousands. Orders poured in. Hope flickered again, but even with sales and donations, they were still short. Dangerously short. Then came the miracle. Lucy was dozing when Madison burst into her hospital room. "You're not going to believe this," she said breathlessly. "Your art's everywhere. Someone tagged Elon Musk. Lucy laughed weakly. Sure, because billionaires check random art posts. Moments later, a tall man in a black t-shirt appeared in the doorway, holding one of her paintings. This is incredible, he said quietly. The way you capture light, it's like painting physics. Lucy blinked. It really was Elon Musk. He showed her his phone, a banking app displaying a transfer large enough to cover her entire treatment and 2 years of art school. The only condition, he said, is that you focus on getting better, and maybe one day paint something for our Mars project. Her father arrived just in time to hear it. He sank to the floor, overcome. Lucy reached for his hand, tears streaming down both their faces. Why? Her father asked softly. Because the world needs more lightning catchers, Musk said. More people who can find beauty in the storm. After Musk left, the hospital buzzed with emotion. Reporters called, donations flooded in, and Lucy's treatments began again, this time with full funding. That evening, she opened her sketchbook and began a new piece, a Martian dust storm lit by Earth's lightning. Her father watched quietly. What are you working on? A thank you gift, she said, smiling faintly. A bridge between worlds. He nodded, pride shining through tears. Outside, thunder rolled. Lucy looked toward the window where lightning flickered across the sky. For the first time since her diagnosis, the storm didn't feel like the enemy. It felt like home, because sometimes miracles don't come with wings or halos. They come wearing black t-shirts, carrying phones, and believing in the power of art to change lives. A woman in her 50s approached the booth with a warm smile. I saw your work on Instagram. The storm series is absolutely breathtaking. Lucy straightened her purple bandana, matching her favorite hoodie. Thank you, Mrs. Henderson. Margaret, she corrected. I teach art at Cedar Grove Community College. She gestured toward one of the larger pieces. The way you capture light breaking through the clouds, and it reminds me of Turner, but with a modern edge. A small crowd began to gather as Mrs. Henderson spoke. Lucy felt her chest tighten with hope. They had made just over $23,000 so far, but today could change everything. This one, Mrs. Henderson said, pointing to a painting of lightning striking a hospital, the building glowing ethereally in the electric light. How much? 800, Lucy replied. Her father drew in a sharp breath behind her. They'd been raising prices gradually as demand grew. I'll take it, Mrs. Henderson said, pulling out her phone. My sister's an oncology nurse. She'll understand exactly what you've captured here. The morning continued with steady sales. Lucy felt stronger than she had in days. Even the constant nausea seemed bearable. You need to eat something, John insisted around noon, offering her a sandwich from their cooler. Lucy took a small bite, more to please him than out of hunger. Did you see, Dad? We've made almost 3,000 already today. I saw, sweetheart, he said, squeezing her shoulder. Just don't push too hard, okay? Madison appeared with 2 bottles of water, her dark hair pulled into a neat ponytail. She'd been helping manage the crowd between shifts at her mother's gallery. You're trending locally on Twitter, she said, handing Lucy a bottle. Mom says... She stopped abruptly, eyes widening. Lucy, your nose. Lucy touched her face. Her fingers came away red. The world tilted as her father shouted her name. Help! Somebody call an ambulance! Gasps rippled through the crowd as Lucy collapsed. Blood from her nose splattered across her latest painting, the one she'd been working on between customers. The last thing she saw were crimson drops forming new patterns in the storm clouds she'd painted, before everything went dark. When she woke, the familiar beeping of hospital monitors filled the room. Dr. Warner was speaking quietly to her father in the corner, both their faces grim. The cancer's spreading faster than we expected, the doctor said. We need to start aggressive treatment immediately. Standard therapy won't be enough. Lucy tried to sit up, but her body felt like lead. How much more will it cost? Don't worry about that right now, her father said, rushing to her side. How much? She pressed. Dr. Warner hesitated. At least 40,000 more. Lucy closed her eyes, doing the math. 23,000 from her art. Nowhere near enough. The market, she murmured. My paintings. Madison and her mom packed everything, her father said. Nothing was damaged except the one you were working on. The one with the blood? Lucy asked weakly. A nurse in the doorway spoke up. That one's remarkable. The way the blood mixed with the paint, it's powerful. Lucy turned her head toward the painting propped against the wall. The storm clouds now seemed to weep red tears. The lightning glowed like arteries. I took a photo, the nurse, Sarah, continued. Posted it online with your story. Hope that's okay. People should see this. See you? Lucy nodded faintly, though the motion made her dizzy. A basin appeared just in time as she threw up. Her father's strong hands steadied her. We need to Saint. John watched as his daughter drew through the night, tears silently streaking his face. By dawn she fell asleep, the sketchbook slipping from her grasp. He caught it and stared at the drawing. A girl floating above her hospital bed, lightning crackling from her fingertips like she was conducting her own storm. Sarah entered to check on Lucy. She was drawing all night? John nodded. She won't stop fighting. Sarah studied the sketch, eyes wide. This is incredible. May I? She took a photo. You really think posting her art helps? John asked. The world needs to see this kind of courage, she said softly. Sarah posted it with a simple caption. Young artist fights cancer through her art. Each piece helps fund her treatment. This is what strength looks like. The post spread fast, thousands of shares by the time Lucy woke. Madison burst in around noon, clutching her phone. Lucy, you're not going to believe this. Your art's gone viral. Mom's gallery is flooded with calls. People want everything, and even the blood-splattered piece. How much? Lucy asked weakly. Almost 10,000 today, Madison said, her smile fading. But it's not enough, Lucy finished for her. Her father looked up from his phone. There's a news station that wants to do a story. They'll show your art. It could help. Lucy hesitated. The thought of being on camera made her nauseous, but they needed the money. Okay, she whispered. But I want to paint during the interview. I want them to see I'm not giving up. The next day, the news crew arrived. Bright lights made her head pound, but she forced a smile as the reporter, Rachel, said gently, Just be yourself. Tell your story. Lucy spoke about her diagnosis, the insurance denial, and how she kept painting to fight back. She was working on a new piece, on a lightning bolt transforming into a paintbrush, when her hand slipped. The brush fell. Darkness closed in again. Cut! Get a doctor! Rachel shouted. The footage never aired. Instead, the station ran a story showing Lucy painting in her hospital bed, IV attached, determinedly creating art between bouts of pain. They showed her storm series, especially the now famous blood-splattered canvas that had started it all. By nightfall, her hospital room was filled with flowers, letters, and art supplies from strangers. But when Lucy checked her father's phone, their balance was still far short of what they needed. How bad? She asked weakly. He avoided her eyes. You need to rest, sweetheart. How bad? 60,000 short, he admitted. She lay back, tears sliding down her cheeks. I can keep painting, she whispered. No, Lucy, no more pushing yourself. We'll figure something out. The storm paintings surrounded her, haunting reminders of her fight. All that effort, all that light breaking through the darkness. And still not enough to save her. Sarah entered quietly, checking the monitors. The storm outside the window flashed with lightning, as if echoing the battle still raging inside her. Check her vitals again, Sarah murmured, frowning at the numbers on the monitor as she adjusted Lucy's IV. Pulling out her phone, she tried to sound casual. Someone tagged Elon Musk in your story, she said. It probably won't come to anything, but stranger things have happened, right? Lucy managed a weak smile. She'd learned the hard way that hope could hurt worse than chemotherapy. Instead, she closed her eyes and drifted into dreams of lightning storms, of paint mixed with blood and tears. And somewhere in those dreams, a small voice whispered that maybe, just maybe, the greatest miracles come after the darkest storms. The hospital room had become her whole world. She tried to focus on algebra homework her school had sent to keep her caught up, but the numbers blurred together. The latest round of treatment had left her hollow, like a gust of wind could carry her away. You don't have to do that now, Sarah said during her morning check. Your teachers will understand. Lucy shook her head slightly, careful not to trigger the dizziness. Need to stay. Normal, she whispered before nausea overtook her. Sarah quickly held a basin and rubbed her back as she retched. Not that there was much left to bring up. I checked Twitter this morning, Sarah said gently, trying to distract her. Your blood-splattered storm piece has been shared over 50,000 times. Lucy managed another faint smile. Any rich collectors want to buy it? Actually, Sarah hesitated. Someone did tag Elon Musk in one of the posts. It's getting attention. Lucy let out a soft laugh that quickly turned into a wince. Because billionaires check their Twitter tags about teenage artists? Stranger things have happened, Sarah said, adjusting the IV. Try to rest. Your dad will be here after his shift. Lucy nodded. Her father had been working double shifts at the garage, then coming straight to the hospital to sleep in that uncomfortable chair. She'd noticed how loose his clothes were getting, how deep the worry lines had grown. She must have drifted off. Because when she woke, Madison was sitting by her bed, doing homework. Hey, Sleeping Beauty, Madison smiled, setting down her textbook. Brought you something. It was one of Lucy's old storm paintings, from before the diagnosis. Found it in the back of the art room, Madison said. Mrs. Rodriguez thought you should have it. Said it shows how far you've come. Lucy studied the painting. The technique was rougher, the emotion less raw. Back when storms were just weather, not metaphors for the war raging inside her. How's the gallery? She asked. Madison's eyes lit up. Mom's never seen anything like it. People keep coming to see your work. Some guy even flew in from Houston this morning. Paid 3 times the asking price. Really? Lucy tried to sit up, ignoring the pain. How much? Madison suddenly looked very interested in her textbook. Don't worry about that now. Maddie, Lucy said softly but firmly, how much do we still need? Madison bit her lip. Your dad said, about $55,000, even with all the sales and donations. Lucy closed her eyes, fighting tears. The infection was making treatment costs skyrocket and time was running out. She could hear it in the doctor's whispers, in the desperate prayers her father thought she didn't hear. Then came noise from the hallway. Hurried voices. Something about security. Madison sighed. Probably another TV crew. Mom said the story got picked up by national news. She stopped mid-sentence as a tall figure appeared in the doorway. Jeans, black t-shirt, holding one of Lucy's paintings. Lucy blinked hard, thinking the meds were playing tricks on her. But Madison's gasp told her this was real. Elon Musk stood in her hospital room studying her storm painting. This is incredible work, he said, his voice calm and sincere. The way you've captured light through distortion. It's like seeing the world through a different physics engine. Lucy tried to sit up. Mr. Musk, he held up a hand. I've already spoken to the hospital administration. No cameras, no press. I'm not here for publicity. I just think talent like yours deserves a chance. He turned his phone to show her a screen, a banking app with a transfer confirmation. Lucy's vision blurred as she saw the number. Enough to cover her entire treatment, plus 2 years of art school. Madison clutched Lucy's hand, speechless. The only condition, Musk continued, is that you focus on getting better. And maybe consider doing a piece for our Mars project when you're well. We could use someone who knows how to paint different worlds. Just then, Lucy's father, John, entered still in his work coveralls. He froze. His daughter, Elon Musk, and Madison crying in the corner. What? He started, then stopped as Musk showed him the phone. John's legs gave out and he slid down the wall, tears streaming. Lucy reached for him, her own tears falling onto her algebra notebook. I don't understand, John whispered. Musk smiled faintly, because the world needs more lightning catchers. People who see beauty in the storm and fight destruction with creation. He set the painting gently on her bedside table. When you're stronger, we'll talk about that Mars project. I think you'd like painting Martian storms. Different physics, different colors, but the same power you capture so well. And with that, he was gone. Sarah appeared at the door, grinning. Did I forget to mention we had a special visitor scheduled today? Lucy laughed through her tears, turning the sound into a sob as her father wrapped her in a hug. You did it, sweetheart, he whispered. You fought the storm, and won. Madison was already on her phone. The gallery's going crazy. The local news wants an interview. Lucy, you're going to be famous. Lucy shook her head. I don't care about that. I get to live. I get to paint more storms, Dr. Warner entered, smiling for the first time in weeks. Good news. We can proceed with full treatment now. And maybe, he added, we'll need to set up a small art studio in your recovery room. Hours passed in a blur. Doctors updating plans, nurses offering congratulations, her father making calls. Lucy kept looking at her paintings on the wall, her journey captured in color and shadow. But now those paintings told a different story, one of hope. That evening, she picked up her sketchbook. Her hands trembled, but her heart was steady. "What are you working on?" her father asked softly. "A thank you gift," Lucy said, sketching a red-streaked cloud, a Martian dust storm. "With Earth's lightning, a bridge between worlds." John smiled, watching his daughter fight for life with every stroke. "Your mother called," he said quietly. "She wants to help." "I told her it's your choice, and when you're ready," Lucy nodded. "Maybe later. If Elon Musk can walk into my hospital room, anything's possible." Sarah came for the evening check, smiling at the new drawing. "That's different, Fa."